Welcome, everyone. This is the third time I'm using Restream, and I hope that it's working and that everybody can hear me. I've got some great tips to share today on how to create a memorable and compelling elevator pitch. So, I'm going to go through a deck and I will share the link to the deck at the end. And I will also do some live demos. So I'm gonna share my screen here. Give me a second. All right. Actually, that's not gonna work. Hold on, I gotta get a different view here. All right, here we go. So that's what you should be seeing. Let me just double check on my phone. This is not as smooth as other people do it because I'm a newbie. Gotta cut me a break a little bit. Um, because this is new to me doing the live streams. But I'm coming to you from Pennsylvania, from the suburbs of Philadelphia, and I cannot get to where I need to be on my phone. So I'm just going to go for it and keep my fingers crossed that this is working. All right. So, what are we going to do? Talk about the elevator pitch. It's a brief, persuasive speech that is used to spark interest when you are having a conversation with somebody, either online or perhaps in person. It's great that we can get together in person now and exchange business cards at different events. So, we're going to talk about the key elements of an elevator pitch. So, the definition is a succinct and persuasive summary of your business idea or personal brand used to introduce yourself or promote your product or service. And the name originates originally because you had about 30 seconds to go up in an elevator and introduce yourself to somebody in there. So you don't want to have it too long. You want to make it concise and succinct and hopefully pique somebody's interest in some way, shape, or form to want to engage in a conversation. Now, can your LinkedIn headline align with your elevator pitch? It absolutely can. And I'm going to do a demo on that in a little bit. So you're going to focus on first your LinkedIn headline where you want to put the key title of what it is that you do, followed by other keywords, and then your USP, your unique selling proposition. Now, this is not the only way to do things. I mean, you talk to 10 resume writers or 10 LinkedIn profile writers, and they'll give you 20 different answers. And that's okay. Everybody has their own style. So I'm going to share with you my style and what I do. And why not use ChatGPT to get some ideas on your um, USP, your unique selling proposition? And then some people like to put pipes, up and down pipes in their headline in between words. And other people say, no, don't do that. It's a command in the software world, and so use some other different types of emojis. So you do what works for you. I've always used pipes. I've had clients who've landed jobs in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and the pipes have not been an issue. So here's an example of a LinkedIn headline. And I put into ChatGPT, create a unique selling proposition of less than 10 words for someone who is a software test engineer and delivers a high quality user experience. Well, where did that high user quality experience come from? That actually came from a job description that somebody wanted to apply to. And so we decided to weave that in to the USP in the headline. Um, so we put some other key software in the headline that this person knows, and down in the black at the bottom, that is the final headline. So you can have up to 220 characters, including emojis, with your headline. Now, there's so many different types of elevator pitches, and it depends on the situation and where you're meeting people. It might be, an industry event. It might be a job seeker networking event. It might be a trade show. It might be an interview. So there's lots of different types of pitches. Uh, so here's a list of the different types of pitches. I'm not going to read through the slides because I am going to give you a link to the deck and you can go back and review this. So here's some more pitches and some more pitches. I'm very famous for my alphabetical list of listicles. So here we are coming to the end. And I love this one, of course, because I'm a Disney nerd for those who know me. So here we go. The elevator pitch is really meant to make a memorable first impression, and you want to make it clear, concise, compelling, and you've got to have different elevator pitches for different situations because they are critical for your career. So know your audience. The one size does not fit all. Is it, somebody that is in your industry or profession and you can use some industry vernacular or buzzwords that you maybe can't use with somebody who's not in your industry. So you have to really think about, who you're speaking to when you're crafting your elevator pitch and what's going to resonate. So if you go to a social event, or it could be a party, or maybe you're out socially visiting your doctor's office or your grocery store or a volunteer event, you can give your elevator pitch there. It doesn't always have to be at a business related event. But, if you're dealing with businesses, it could be clients or vendors or colleagues, etc. And then if you're job searching, you might be at another job seeker group, like the Great Careers Network, which I run, and meet people there. So you're going to have different pitches for those different scenarios. Now, my favorite elevator pitch is a short and sweet one. And I'm going to give credit to Steve Woodruff, and you'll find him on LinkedIn. And he explains about the memory dart. So, the memory dart is about a 15-second pitch, and it has a vivid image in it so that you can remember and be memorable with that vivid image. So Steve's elevator pitch is, I'm the world's only clarity consultant. In less than a day, I help individuals and companies discover their offering and distill it into a clear, compelling message. Okay, mine is shorter and sweeter, and we're going to get into that. I think a slide is coming up. Here we go. So, um, I want to first introduce yourself and state your name, and then at the end, state your name again, because people don't always catch your name in the beginning, but they'll listen to what you say. And if you pique their interest, then, they'll want to remember to connect with you. So you always want to say your name again. So here we go. Um, my name is Lynn Williams and I guide you to your keywords to beat the bots. Lynn Williams. So that's pretty short and sweet. I think it's like 9 or 10 words for the pitch, not my name. But hopefully somebody will say, "Well, what do you mean by beat the bots?" And I can say, "Well, I'm a writer, and I write resumes and LinkedIn profiles, and I focus on keywords. So keywords help you make it through better matches in the applicant tracking system when applying for jobs, and they also help you get found on LinkedIn. So my big focus is on keywords. Now, first, you can say, who you are and what you do. You don't have to use the memory dart example that I used. Um, and the value proposition, what's the benefit of your product or service or idea or problem you solve, and a call to action. Here's one from Amy Dinning. So I'm going to actually highlight a whole bunch of career coaches or other people who have really come up with some really great ideas on how to create an elevator pitch. So as I said, one size does not fit all. And the one that I like the best may not be the best for you or your situation. So I'm here to plant some seeds and give you some ideas. So here's Amy's structure. Hi, my name is. I help provide, am, or whatever, passionate about. I have experience in such and such a field. My strengths are, I'm looking for the position of. Now, here's another example. Hi, my name is. I help, okay, do or understand a particular problem so that whatever the desired outcomes are. Now, I know a lot of people use the word help. For some reason or another, my memory serves me that I was told not to use the word help because I used to say I help uh, um, people find, keywords to beat the bots or something like that. But I was told not to use the word help, and so I changed it to guide. So I'm going to plant that seed for you to think about. Now, Alex Freud is an excellent interview coach. And I'm not going to read all this, but when I give you the deck, you can go back and what do they say? How do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? So you can go back and take a look at this deck and consume it one bite or one slide at a time. And then Bryn Tillman is an outstanding sales navigator, LinkedIn expert, and I love her formula for the headline, which includes three elements: who you help, how you help, and why should they care. And then Ford Myers, I believe he's retired now, but he wrote a really good book. And so check that out on Amazon. But here is his example of um, making an elevator pitch. Now, the previous example almost aligns with the profile summary paragraph that I typically use at the top of a resume. And I have people copy and paste these at the top of their LinkedIn profiles in the About section, except I take out the years of experience, so to speak. So, title with X years of experience in the whatever industries, expertise in, strengths include, known for. So, you don't want to start off with fluffy adjectives like results oriented, passionate, blah, blah, blah. You want to get right to the chase and put the title and role of what you are looking for. So here's an example down below. Digital engineering leader with over 20 years of experience in the retail industry, expertise in mobile technology and omni-channel retail strategy. Strengths include thought leadership, effective communication, collaboration, and problem solving. Known for impactful innovations, building solid engineering teams, and focusing on quality and continuous improvement. So that is a great introduction to give people a big picture about you at the top of a resume, as well as at the top of an about section if you'd like this particular formula. and it's written in first person implied I rather than using the pronoun I. Now, Ken Schur also has an excellent structure for an elevator pitch, starting with a problem and a solution, and why you, and the value, and a call to action. So there's the formula, and then he has an example. And Laura Templeton, I just read her second book, which was on compassionate leadership. Excellent book. But the first one I also enjoyed, which is 30-second success. Ditch the pitch and start connecting. So she asked questions: what's their pain? How do you solve it? Call to action, who you are, and in answer to, so what do you do when you're at a networking event? So you tell people how you solved a problem in your current or previous work. Again, she uses I help, or I develop, I implement, I create. So you can use verbs other than the word help. Johnny Walker is in the UK, and his formula is I help person at place achieve purpose as measured by performance by doing process. So that's a short and sweet formula that you can try. And then I added to this deck in the past few months when Ari Weinstein spoke for the Great Careers Network as a career coach. And he has a book called Personal Branding at Work, and he speaks a lot about brand messaging. And I really loved his formula, which is who you are, what you do for whom, and how your work matters. So, tell about the impact of your work. And so, his formula is in the orange where he's introducing himself. And then he has a couple examples in the gray and blue on the right of the slide. And then, of course, you've heard of Seth Godin. And he wrote an article called "No One Ever Bought Anything in an Elevator." And he notes not to pitch a product, but the meeting regarding the project. So it begs the listener to ask to hear more. So this is a Google slide deck. Again, I will give you the link at the end. And I've baked in the hyperlinks so you can click on this particular article and read it. So you've got to have a hook, right? You want to start with some sort of a compelling hook to grab the listener's attention, and pique their interest so that you can engage in a deeper conversation. Using a relevant fact, a question, or a surprising statement might be the answer to the hook. Clear and concise messaging, of course, I've already said that this, keep it brief and to the point. You want people to remember you. So you don't want to blather on about, all your past experiences and whatnot. Just, think future forward. Who are you and what do you want to be when you grow up? Or, what's the type of client that you're looking for? So think future forward. When you are at a networking event, you want to think about, well, what are you wearing? What's your appearance? And do you have a smile on your face? Do you have a firm handshake, good eye contact, appropriate body language? Are you speaking in an appropriate tone? Does your messaging have good pace and cadence? And, if you're practicing for an interview, I'm going to say practice, practice, practice. So sometimes you need to do the practice, practice, practice when you have to start networking, especially if you're an introvert and you have to practice that elevator pitch. So keep writing it down and perfecting it until you get it right, and speak to yourself in the mirror, and that might help build confidence if you are a shy person. Now, handshaking is really important. In the United States, we give good, firm handshakes, and I know there are cultural differences when people come from around the world. We run a immigrant professionals career support group, and so therefore we have people that have come from different countries, and they are professionals in the United States. So, and this also probably applies to Canada. I can't speak for Mexico because I don't know that I've been to Mexico other than walking across the border in San Diego to Tijuana. So I don't know what the customs are for handshakes there. But in North America, you want to give a good firm handshake and you want to look the person in the eye and smile. Now, here's a tip. When you go to a networking event, make sure you wear your name badge on your right side. Okay. I know men typically want to put it on their lapel on the left side or on the pocket. You don't want to do that because when you extend your right hand to right hand, your eyes tend to go to the extension of the hand and to the right side of the person's body. And therefore, they can look at your name badge and, get that in their mind so they don't forget your name. So always go future forward, as I already mentioned that, and you want to build credibility. You want people to engage with you and share your story to help build that know, like, and trust. So, unique selling proposition. I am going to do a demo on this in a little bit, but how are you that purple squirrel? What differentiates you and sets you apart from somebody else who is like you? Um, so, why should somebody care listening to you? So, you got to make yourself different, and sometimes if you can think of a way of adding humor or making people laugh, then that's great. Now, stories, real life examples, those are always good because people remember stories more than facts and figures, but it has to be relatable. You can explain how you have products or services that can benefit, you can explain the features, and hopefully this hits somebody's pain points or needs and focus on the value that you provide. You want to build credibility. You can highlight your achievements, credentials, or relevant experience. And you want to build trust. Trust is ever so important because it's humans that hire humans, not bots. And reaching out and touching a human to human relationship is way better than applying to a job just online. But if you have testimonials or data on your LinkedIn profile where it's public, that also helps build your credibility and your thought leadership. You want to rehearse your elevator pitch so that it flows naturally. As I mentioned before, practice in front of a mirror. It's not a bad thing. Practice with family and friends and people that like and trust before you go out and hit people that you don't know with your pitch. You don't want to sound robotic, um, so rehearse it so that you sound natural and authentic. And you want to pay attention to your body language. Smiling is really important, and looking at somebody, especially when you shake their hands. So the 738-55 rule was developed by a UCLA professor, where 55% body language, 38% tone of voice, and 7% words. So 7% words, that's your pitch right there. But come across as authentic and enthusiastic, again with a big smile on your face. And be adaptable. Be ready to modify your pitch based upon the circumstances. And you might want to come up with a call to action. I'd love to discuss this further over a coffee or a virtual coffee. Can I get your contact information? Here's my business card. So I don't know if you've ever been to networking events where people are just going around and shoving business cards into everybody's face very quickly without stopping and having a conversation, and getting to know somebody. It's all about building relationships. So here's another little tip, when you're going to an in-person networking event. If you see two people speaking together, I would leave them be and let them, engage in getting to know one another. They're working on building a relationship. But if you see one person by themselves, that might be an introvert. So please scoop them up and uh, be a buddy, and help them out, and ask them if they want to go get a drink or some food, or ask them to introduce themselves, because they may not have the strong extrovert social skills to feel comfortable and confident to do that. But if there's a group of 3 or more, by all means, just jump in and join the conversation, because it's a group of people and not just 2 people trying to get to know each other and build a relationship. So, elevator pitches, they're powerful tools to make memories, and you want to be memorable, and make a good first impression. Now, I'm going to be switching gears in a minute and showing a couple different screens. But first, I want to share that, the Bitly career topics, it is case sensitive. Those are my upcoming speaking events. And you will also find that on my LinkedIn profile right under my headline. I have something called More Gobsmacking Resources. So that is my link tree. And you'll find a link there to subscribe to my newsletter, my upcoming speaking events, if you wanted to book a call, etc. As well as the link tree, on the first tab will lead you to the nonprofit organization that I run called Great Careers Network. So if you want to check out our events page, greatcareers.org/events, that'll give you the events one by one. But there's a little tab, um, under the events tab, that says events quick list, and that'll give you a chronological list, of upcoming events, so you can check your calendar easily. So here are my upcoming speaking events. Tomorrow, the 13th, I'm doing how to create snazzy graphics for social media step by step. And, if you're watching this after the fact, because this is live streaming, no worries. I do this one all the time. And then tomorrow night, I'm doing how to gain customers with a LinkedIn company page. And that is on Zoom. And I do that one all the time, as well as all the other ones. So here's where I am booked to speak from now until the end of the year so far. All right. Here's my contact information. Please feel free to, reach out to me. And if you have any questions, if you book a call on my Calendly, I will add a Zoom link after the fact. But I want to give a special shout out to the Thought Leadership Branding Club, of which I am on the leadership team. And I'm going to take you to their website and show you what's coming up there too. So, as I said, I would give you access and a link to the deck. So here is the deck and a link to some tips if you want it all kind of on one easy page rather than going through the deck. So that is a Google Doc. So anything, you should be taking a screenshot of this slide, and it'll get you to everything that I have showed you here today. And then please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. And again, here's the article that I wrote on elevator pitch formats. All right. So now I'm going to switch gears, and I want to show you a couple websites. So first, I'll take you to the Thought Leadership Branding Club. And here's Bobby Umar, our leader. Um, if you click on thought leaders, you'll see all the people who have been members at some point in time or are current members. So we would love to have you join the Thought Leadership Branding Club, and we would get you on this page. And guess who does that? Me. I'm the WordPress geek, so I get to put all the new people on the page. And then here's the events tab. This I update every single weekend. All right. So we have something called upcoming master classes every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And we have an excellent speaker. But there's so many other things going on during the week with amazing career coaches who share their expertise on Clubhouse and Restream. And then, here's the Zoom masterclass that happens obviously on Zoom. Now, here is the Great Careers website. And one article I wanted to bring your attention to is, can your elevator pitch and your LinkedIn headline align? So, yes, it can. And, when I say I guide you to your keywords to beat the bots, if you go to my LinkedIn headline, you'll see something about, strategies for keywords to beat the bots. Now, here's the events tab that I mentioned. So if you go to the quick list, you will see all of the upcoming events, and I will be working on building March. But the thing I want to point out is we are a 501c3 nonprofit. We are not funded in any other way other than membership and donations. So, if you read this important registration information, you'll see it says some things are only available to paid members. And what that means is $5 a month, you will be far better off um, uh, paying the $5 for all this career education versus a cup of coffee that you would purchase. So we run 18 to 25 events a month, which actually winds up to being about 20 to 25 cents an event just to help support the nonprofit if you put a little skin in the game. So here's the membership page, and there's the join now. So you can see, $60 a year, $5 a month, or if you're a mid to senior level executive or business owner, you can join the Bang Chem Pharma. You'll find all of our contact information and our social media sites, etc., on the contact page. But we're pretty excited that on the front page here, you will see that we have been listed in the Philadelphia Business Journal's Book of List as #1 spot in on business networking associations for 5 years now. So, going back to my LinkedIn profile here, um, this is the more gobsmacking resources. And here is the link tree that I mentioned, and the top one, and will take you to the nonprofit, and then all the other things that I'm involved in personally. I do have some updates to do on my social media. I've been busy dealing with some client work, and so I put that as a priority to me. So um, hopefully this is helpful to you, and you've got some new ideas. And what I'm going to do is see if I can go to Restream and find a button in case anybody has any questions. Um, Again, I'm a newbie at this, so please bear with me. All right. I wanted to add somebody else. Let's see, copy invite link. All right. So I'm going to put the invite link. Um, let's go to messages. And there we go. I will put it in the Careerland chat, and then maybe I can get it on the event itself. And I'm also going to put some other links. So here I'm going to go to events and let's see in the comments. Okay. No, that's not going to get me to where I want to go. So bear with me, folks. I am new to this, but you got to start somewhere, right? Okay, here we go. We're going to go comments here. And here's the join me on stage with questions. And when I put that in, I'm then going to go to the links that I've put in here, and I will copy and paste those in also, so you've got them handy. There's a lot of links there. And here's the comment. Now, the one that I would like to point out is last week I spoke at SCORE Los Angeles. I spoke on the Nonprofit Marketing Summit. So did Deepak Chopra, Neil Patel, and 23,000 nonprofits signed up, which is pretty cool. I also spoke at the Girl Geek conference, and I wanted to put in the Girl Geek YouTube link. So if you want to see, the demos of elevator pitch and whatnot, then you come down here and you'll see me as the fourth one down. It's a 20-minute video, and then people ask me Q&A for 20 minutes, but there's also another Google deck in there that might be helpful for tips on building your LinkedIn brand. So while I see if I don't see anybody coming up on stage yet, so I'm going to do this demo. If I were to go into Chat GPT, which I don't think I have up, no, Chat GPT, and I could say, write a unique selling proposition, USP. Oh, I gotta spell that right. USP of less than 12 words for someone who is a graphic designer, and make the USP memorable. Feel free to add humor. So I'm just doing this live. I have no idea what's going to come out. So we'll see. So design so sharp they cut through the clutter, no bandages needed. So here, if I click on this little down arrow and I click on try again, pixel perfect designs with a dash of wit because boring is overrated. And then I could click on this again and try again. Pixel perfect designs with a dash of wit because ugly is not an option. Well, I don't know that I would go that far, but you can go back, click on these little arrows, and you could say, I want it in 15 words, less than 15 words, or whatever it may be. But here we go. Design so sharp they cut through clutter that no bandages are needed. So what I can do is maybe go to a Google Doc and let's play with this. I'm going to go to a blank document and I'll paste that in, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger for you. Okay. So when I said first, you're going to take your your title, graphic designer, and maybe you do website development, and maybe you do video editing. Maybe you use Adobe Premiere. Maybe you do branding strategies. etc. So I'm just doing this, off the cuff. Um, so I might work on developing this a little bit more, but I just want to at least show you the process. So I'm going to go to emojipedia.org, which is where I catch my emojis from. And I'm going to type in Band-Aid, and there's an adhesive bandages, right? So now I can copy that and I can go back here and put the Band-Aid in at the end. And maybe that will make it memorable. Um, you know, cut through the clutter, no bandages needed. So cut through the clutter, maybe put a trash can or something like that. I typically tend to put the emojis towards the end of the headline. I want people to get focused on the title of the person and other keywords first. Other people have totally different opinions, and that's fine. Um, you go with what makes sense to you and what resonates with you because there's no one right way or wrong way. I'm just here to plant seeds today. Now, if you went to a networking event and you know that you met somebody, but you don't remember their name, um, but you remember something about pig and oink. Okay. So LinkedIn is an amazing database. So if I put in the word oink and I know I met a person and I know their first level connections, we connected on LinkedIn. So if I pulled them up, look at this. Here's pig art graphics. So, empowering small businesses with comprehensive digital solutions, web development, graphic design, branding, and marketing. Huff and puff and blow that old website down to make your branding oink. So, how to become memorable. That's the funny part is, who puts piggy snouts and the word oink in their LinkedIn headline? Well, Tom does. Um, I didn't do his profile, but I might have had something to do and help him with his headline. Because I love, I love the little piggy snouts. I think it's great. But hopefully this will make you smile and uh, be memorable and be that purple squirrel. So I'm going back to looking at the restream, and I don't see anybody is wanting to come up or has any questions. Let me see if there's any questions in the chat that we have going. Um, and let's see, here we go. And thank you so much, Meryl Cass, for always, providing the links. If you are not connected with Meryl, he's the man. Absolutely a wonderful guy who helps us all in the Thought Leadership Branding Club. So I'm going to wind up ending this particular session early. If nobody's going to come up if you don't have any questions, but hopefully I've planted some seeds here for you today and giving you some ideas on the different formulas and models you can use for creating an elevator pitch. And we'll see you next month, and I will have another topic available. So have a great day, everyone. Take care.